Welcome to the Soul Happy Success Show. Coach Rebecca here, and today we're talking all about reaching out with ease. I get this one can be super tough. I started out in network marketing, so I know how spammy and how sleazy it can be and feel, especially because, network marketing really preaches social connection, which when you're new or you're stressed, you'll do anything to meet really, really crazy numbers. And I did. I messaged everyone all the time for years. I'm not proud of it. Every flash sale, every seasonal product. And I was so embarrassed that I started a new Instagram account when I started coaching. Oh, I know. It takes a lot even to admit, but I had taken this huge knock to my confidence because no one wanted to hear from me, right? I felt so judged all the time. People would see me on nights out and they'd be drunk and they'd say things and it would really upset me. And, I got a lot of negativity as a result when I was just trying my best with what I knew. And I didn't find it easy to get over any of that stuff. And I know that, there's a lot of information out there that you can look to, and that's not exactly today's session, but I still think about it. It doesn't affect me as much anymore, but on the right day, under the right circumstances, like right now, and bringing attention to it, it can still feel a little bit hard. But the difference is that it doesn't stop me because I do it so dang differently now. And I want to share my 3 secrets with you of how I went from deleting my Instagram and literally yesterday, I just learned about an event that's going in Austin and I'm super hyped about it. So I was firing off messages left, right, and center to all my friends all over Texas. And I was like, do you want to join me? Like it was a dang party. And zero shame, zero worry attached, just like I do when I'm helping women through my business. And that reach out is still a part of my personal acquisition system, my client acquisition. So, how did I go from one to the other? Let me teach you the secrets because I know this one's hard. So, I'm sending you so much love because this one's a real challenge. So, let's really break it down and make it super, super simple. So, secret one is that you have to find your comfort zone. So, there are a few parts to this. So, imagine secret 1A is find your platform. And I know I've spoken about platforms before, but what platforms appeal to you the most? And which do you use the most? Because you're going to feel naturally more confident there. You'll be the most comfortable there, right? Maybe you're a big fan of Instagram. Maybe you're a big fan of Facebook. Maybe you love LinkedIn. Where are the places that you go? Because the likelihood is then that you're going to see people will reach out to you and you're going to see what you like and what you don't like. And essentially, you're modeling what you like and you're not modeling what you don't like. And that really brings me into kind of secret 1B, which is, are you excited by working with a cold audience? Or do you feel more comfortable with a hot audience? So, a cold audience is people that don't know you. So, maybe you feel really good about LinkedIn. I know that one of my mentors has a LinkedIn strategy where they just cold message people on LinkedIn all the time. They had a really big network built up, so they were able to do that. And they were talking insane numbers to me. And I don't even know if that's like allowed by the platforms. I don't know how they're doing it, but it was like 100 to 1,000 a day. It was insane. So I don't know if I have never used it, but that's how they felt comfortable. They felt comfortable with cold outreach. They said, we've got a really bomb offer. We feel really passionate about it. We don't care about the feedback essentially because we know it's a numbers game. And I'll come to that in a hot minute. But some people feel like cold outreach is so much easier because you're just saying, this is what I have, come by. Or maybe you prefer working with a hot audience, and that's where I am. I like a hot audience. I love a hot audience. You're here. You're my hot audience, right? I love a hot audience. I love people that know me, that know what I stand for, and that I can have that relationship with because I believe when I bring someone into my coaching world, if they're going to work directly with or close to me, I want to like them. It's not a job anymore. This isn't a job for me. I mean, it is technically, but this is where I get to having my own business, I get to choose. I get to pick and choose. There's a little bit more flexibility that I have. And I really want to like the people I work with. I'm being honest. I want to work with people that want to grow and that care about what their mission is and what they're doing. And even if they don't know their mission, they just know it's in them and they have a passion. Oh my gosh, I feel so much juice from that. So I like to build a hot audience, and that's people that know me, people that have followed me, people that I've built up relationships with. They may have been cold to start with, but I like to nurture those people. And that brings us on to secret 1C. And this is knowing the difference between someone who is engaged and someone who is unengaged or disengaged with your content. So, the really easy way to understand this is if someone wants more from you, they'll ask. They'll ask questions, they'll comment on your posts, they'll respond to your direct messages, and they'll reply with full answers and questions, and they'll want to know more. If someone is disengaged, you'll never see them. You'll feel ghosted. If they do reply, it's a one-word answer. They may need time to see more of the content you're putting out. And it's not like you drop them like a potato, like a hot potato. It's not like that, but it might be they just need more time, or it might just mean that they're just not that into you equally. That's fine, right? I feel like there are a lot of salespeople out there who will say, like, bang your head against a brick wall. They just need to hear your message more and more and more. But there's also another pool of people that are a little bit more like me that say, if this doesn't feel good, don't do it. There are billions of other people in the world that would be far more receptive, open, and excited by what you have to share and tell people and help people with your information, as opposed to people that just will not give you the time of day. Personally, this comes back into secret 1B. I don't necessarily want to work with someone that's not willing to give me even a moment of their time personally, because I'm not that person. I will always respond to people and say no thank you. Or if it is, one of those messages you get that's just like copy and paste, I will just never reply in the first place. I'm like, hey, that's totally cool, but I don't get upset. I don't report people. I'm not like, oh, you're so terrible for sending me this message. I'm just like, that's not for me. Thanks. So you have to work out what's your platform, who do you want to work with, hot or cold? And are these people actually engaged with what you're saying? Because if they're not, that's going to start to take hits to your confidence and it's going to make reaching out really not fun. Okay. So imagine now, when we get to step 2, that you are working with someone who is a potential for your business. All right. So this can be either in a sales conversation, and that might be, on Zoom or in person. It might be through direct messages. There's lots of ways to go about it, but essentially you're having those more intimate conversations with people. At this point, secret 2 is you want to ask questions and share vulnerability. So when you are having conversations with people, be real, be honest, be vulnerable, understand that you'll have to go first with your vulnerability, not with your whole life story. And these are all the terrible things that have happened to me. That's not going to create a productive and coactive conversation or coaching relationship. It's what resonates with that person to build know, like, and trust. So, for example, if someone comments on, you've put a post on social media and someone comments on it, instead of saying, so you've made a post, let's use a real example. Post about the other day, I posted about how I took a little short yoga break. I filmed my yoga break and I used it as a reel. It was very, very simple, like fastest content ever. And I said, I've had a 14-hour day and these are the moments that I have to find for myself. And I said, hey, if you're having a long day, I get it. I feel you. Here are some of the things you can do. So people commented and said, oh my gosh, I needed to hear this today. My question is, why do you need to hear this today? What's been going on for you? Whether that is in a comment or a direct message is personal preference. If it's something that feels deeper, that someone probably wouldn't want to share on a comment section, I'm probably just going to direct message them. They've opened the door for me, right? They've said, hey, I'm resonating and I'm listening and I'd love more support, or I like what you have to say, right? So ask the questions. And you're going to ask the questions that resonate with them. What's their experience of this post that you put up, right? Who is their inspiration, right? It's in line with the post, of course. So there's going to be 100 questions that you could ask. And a really great book for this is And the Next Question Is. If you're struggling to come up with questions, it's such a great breakdown of coaching questions. I highly recommend the book. And this is where you get to build that know, like, and trust factor that they're talking about. It's not by just like hardcore cold DMing someone all the time, picking one person, just cold DM, cold DM, cold DM every single week for like 2 years and not a response. Like, that's not going to get you anywhere, in my personal opinion. So at this point, you want to be asking questions, sharing vulnerability, bringing it into a more intimate conversation. If you can get them into the direct messages, amazing, because that's where people can be more honest and vulnerable with you. It's not to be like, oh, this is how you get them, it's how you can bring people into your world in a way that honors them to the highest. And then should they be interested in working with you, coming into your programs, amazing. You can talk about what that looks like, whether you do that in the direct messages, whether you jump on a call with them, whether you send them the link to your funnel that explains everything and check in with how they got on with it, whatever it looks like. But you will have to ask those questions and share a little bit of vulnerability so that people can come into your world, so that people can understand what you're about, and so you can decide if you guys are a good fit to work together. And the third way to reach out with ease, because asking questions makes it really easy because that's super simple, but the third way, the third secret of reaching out with ease is to know your numbers. To know your numbers. My main training that I deliver for my friends' businesses when they're looking for, extra things to put in their membership, or they want me to speak for them, and at speaking events, is creating consistent sales. And the whole training, I mean, it's hilarious because I have funny stories and all these things in it, right? But the whole training is based on this 10-to-1 sales ratio. So imagine, I just call it the 10-to-1 ratio. It works for everything. Imagine that you have to do 10 of anything to get one result. Right? So if you send 10 cold messages, statistically, because this is a sales statistic, if you reach out and make an offer 10 times, you will close one of those offers. But if you are reaching out and sending 10 cold messages, you will get one reply, is the understanding. If they are hot messages you're sending, trust me, the numbers are not 10. But if you think of it, especially at the beginning, like, I'm going to have to do this 10 times before one works. If I have to deliver a webinar, a training, a live, if I have to reach out 10 times before one works, I'm going to do it, because I know I just have to do it 10 times. And something's going to work. Something's going to click. So track the messages that you're sending, specifically when this comes to reach out, whatever reach out method you're choosing, whether it is cold messages, whether it is hot messages, whatever reach out method you're using, whatever platform, track these numbers. I know that this is the part where I always lose people, because people think that takes up so much time. It literally takes 2 minutes. It's a spreadsheet. I have one. You can have it, just like respond to this email, like in the comments, be like, I want this tracker, and I'll connect with you and I'll figure out how to get it to you through the ether. But it literally is the simplest thing. It is a Google spreadsheet where you just put in the name of the person, the date that you contacted them, the platform that it was on, what it was regarding. That's it. And then when one of those converts, whether it's to a conversation or a sale, I'm just going to color code that one line. It's really that simple. And then when you look back and you scroll back, you can see your numbers and you can see at what point you're going to convert. So the great thing about that is that you're taking all the emotion and the drama out of reaching out to people, because you're saying, this is my business. It's not my self-worth. It's just a number. And it's not to say that people are just a number, because people are individual and they're wonderful and they're unique, but this is a business, my darling. This is a business. So you're just going to track the number so that you know what your particular conversion rate is. It's probably going to be at the beginning 10 to 1, and then it will get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And it takes a lot of the fear out of the contacting, because you know not everyone's going to respond. Not everyone's going to respond, not everyone's going to buy, and that's okay. Because it's just a number. It's not your self-worth. But do it in a way that feels in alignment with your self-worth. And that's where the first 2 secrets come in. So I hope that was useful for today. And as always, we end on a power question. And the power question for today is, what is your reach out comfort zone? What is your reach out comfort zone? So you're asking yourself, what is my reach out comfort zone? Because when you do that part, when you feel good about it and confident in it, and then you're starting to track the numbers, that part's easy because you're doing it in a way that's in alignment with you. In alignment with you. And that's the main thing. So that was us for today. I will see you here next week. If you had a good time, hit that like and subscribe button so that you don't miss any other nuggets, any other juice, any other greatness. And in the meantime, before I see you next week, as always, I'll be over here believing in you.